Hey guys, welcome to the show. My name's Aruthy and we'll be jamming with Ramanan for today. So Ramanan, why don't you tell us about it yourself?
My name's Ramanan Manivannan. I've been playing bass for more than maybe 12 years, I guess.
Yeah.
I started in the concert band at school, and since then I've been playing for random functions and anything that comes my way.
Yeah, but why did you choose the bass guitar?
Firstly, I call it the bass, but that's just it's just personal preference because like when it was invented, they literally shrunk down the huge double basses down to a more portable format. Yeah. So I like to think of it as a bass, and I don't think of myself as a guitarist anyway. Although, when I walked into the music store to buy an instrument, I thought, oh, this guitar has less strings. Yeah. Must be easier. I'm going to learn to play this. But I played this. I ended up picking it up, and it spoke to me. I don't know. Yeah. I identify with it. I fell in love with the instrument, and I've been playing it ever since. Yeah,
no, fair enough. The bass spoke to you. So, what kind of shows have you been involved in? Like stage productions, music?
I've done, it's mostly charity shows and stuff for different Tamil societies, like Old Boys Association, Old Girls Association. Yeah. Like, I've also done Oli Oli as well. I've done 6 or 7 different Oli Olis. I've done the last 6 where I was involved in the musical production some way. I think I started like 2 years before that, before they even had the musical aspect to it, where it was just like any other function.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I've been performing. I didn't intend for it to be that way, but it ended up being like a kind of boon in some sense, because before that I grew up in Castle Hill, and then I went to Balcombe Hills High School, but I didn't really have a sense of, like, I didn't go to Homebush or Pender Hill or Toongabbie. I wasn't really hanging around a lot of Tamil kids, so it wasn't until I started doing these programs that I started hanging around Tamil kids.
Yeah, fair enough. Is there like one show that really stands out to you?
Stands out?
Like, it could be for any reason. It could have been horrific, a total flop, or something totally amazing.
Well, how long do you have? I did Oli. I think Oli Oli's Cinderella was a really good year where everything really came together, and the music was like really top notch, and it like helped complement the lush production that they had. There was also one show. Oh gosh, I've forgotten the name of it already. I should know. I'm gonna get grilled later for forgetting. Indus inspired. Yeah, it was Indus inspired, and it was just a random bunch of musicians, came together and tried to be more experimental with how you do function shows. Like, typically it's just like we do covers, and then people like there's an MGR song, and then a Kutta song, and then like some Ilayaraja songs, and then some new A.R. Rahman songs. We try to be a bit more inclusive. We like put some Tamil songs and Hindi songs together, get some Carnatic influence in there. Like, yeah, that was really fun.
So you mentioned Carnatic influence. Have you been trained in any Carnatic instruments?
No.
Whatsoever?
None. I've just been absorbing it from everyone. I'd have to credit like the J.R. Rasa brothers, Sayan Raghavan, Venkatesh and Soumya Sridharan. Yeah. And just by hanging around with them, I've been able to pick up different elements of Carnatic and Carnatic music and theory. Do I know all 72 Melagathas? No. I don't know like ragam names and stuff, but I push myself to learn it because learning different styles of music is like learning a different accent or a way to speak.
For sure.
So listening to it and then trying to reproduce it you start to be able to understand music differently. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And how do you see bass kind of fitting in with, you know, Carnatic influenced pieces? Because a lot of Tamil music kind of derives from Carnatic. Have you been in that kind of situation? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Well, I'll say this. I think mostly due to a lack of resources at the time. And when I say lack of resources, I mean like they probably didn't have the manufacturing capacity to make something that would be low pitched enough. So you find a lot of Carnatic music, like the lowest instrument I can think of would probably be a miridangam, but that's basically percussion.
Yes.
You still have to tune it, but that's the lowest that you can get. So there's this gigantic chunk. If you were to look at a spectral analysis or a graphic equalizer, there's a gigantic chunk where Carnatic music doesn't have that presence.
Yeah.
And then that's what I do. That's what I like to do. I like to step in and give body to the song.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really enhances the song. I mean, it wasn't without a lot of teething problems. Because yeah, I mean, I can only play. At the time, I was just doing like sa, ma, pa, and then trying to muddle my way through it. And people were like, just don't play. But after a while, I picked it up, and yeah, it's done wonders. I can say that much. Yeah.
Well, I guess following on from that, what do you reckon the reception has been for the bass? Whether that be in a Western concert context or even an Indo-Sri Lankan context?
Well, I haven't played that many Western shows, but I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I will. So I've been, it's been mostly positive, but because bass is just, it's bass. That's not to say that Indo-Sri Lankan audiences are any less appreciative. I mean, we have, setting aside like Carnatic audiences, the bass is heavily featured in a lot of, since Ilayaraja, I think, because I mean, he learned music theory on harmonium and guitar, and it shows in a lot of the bass lines that he makes. And then A.R. Rahman as well, a lot of his really early stuff had really interesting bass lines as well. And people notice that, and people pick it up. Like, I think yes, music fans sometimes can't articulate why they might like a certain thing, but if you play like really well and then you make the song sound really good, they will appreciate it. Like, that does happen. With Carnatic music, if I have to perform Carnatic music, I have to make sure I am 100%, because if I fail a little bit, I feel like I've just some fusion musician who's just coming in trying to do something, and I hate fusion, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think.
Why is that? I'm just really curious.
I don't hate fusion. I just hate the term fusion. I feel like I feel like there's a compromise on each side when really you can speak to each other with different. Because they both come at music in a different fashion, but you can still come together and make great music together. Yeah, and rather than like compromising, say, on change the ragam somewhere, or you play chords differently, or limiting like Western instruments in Carnatic music. So that's why I'm a little averse to fusion, but you know, it's never too late. I mean, it's only been 2,500 years, but it's never too late.
No, it never really is. I mean, listening to you talk about like your commitment, not just to bass, but in general in music, have you dabbled in anything else, like composing or like sound engineering, anything like that?
I really should stop saying
No, that's fine. You're only human.
I've been songwriting. I've been practicing songwriting for a while. For a long time, it was really basic 4-chord stuff. But that's why I've been trying to get into Carnatic music. I've been doing some tertiary education, in songwriting and music production, because I want to be able to do this stuff myself. Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic though, because it takes a lot of guts to take that step. No, trust me, I have no music knowledge or abilities, so I envy your ability to do that. But I guess it's just fantastic to know someone from here is taking that step.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add about your experience? Anything to motivate other kids out there?
Well, it's more. My message would probably be more to parents, and that's just to encourage their music ability. I mean, I'll say this, like, maybe not guitar, but even like any Western instruments, and try to introduce them into how you can apply that to Indian music and vice versa.
So you mentioned that, you know, you felt like you were called towards the bass when you chose that instrument, but who would be your inspiration? Whether that be like a Western band?
It'll probably just have to be Western bands initially. I can't name many Indian bassists or Sri Lankan bassists right now. I mean, the two that I know, I mean, they're great and they inspire me in the sense that they're virtuosic. There's Jayan Verma, he was a Mridangam player initially. Look him up on YouTube, Jayan Verma. And then he started playing bass, but he appropriated the left-hand technique of Mridangam onto slap bass. And it's incredible, like being able to play Carnatic polyrhythms on a bass guitar. The other is Mohini Dey, who, I mean, some people have probably already heard of her. She's like incredible on bass. She's played with A.R. Rahman a lot. So the rest of my influences come from high school when I was still listening to metal and rock. I wasn't listening to a lot of jazz and funk at that time. People like Ryan Martini of Mudvayne, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, Les Claypool from Primus. I mean, the list goes on, and I can sit here and I probably name many people that no one has ever heard of, but yeah, a lot of inspiration. There's no shortage of great bass players. It's just that they don't get their time in the sun sometimes.
I'm just going to hop back to one of your previous answers about that one show that you mentioned about, like, that stood out about experimenting how you do shows. Is there like any song that you could play for us? Like, give us a demo off the top of your head?
Maybe, but it's been a while, and two, it would be the bass line of a song. So
maybe let's scratch that. Why don't you just give us a demo?
Sure. Okay. This is Maru Helara.
Could you give us a demo of an Indian cinema song, maybe?
Okay.
Well, thank you, Ramanan, for participating in this initiative, and good luck with all your future endeavours, and I look forward to hearing some of your original pieces.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning into our channel. I hope you enjoyed this jamming session with Ramanan, and I hope you'll join us with our future sessions as well. Till then, goodbye.